What is going on, you guys? This is your boy Taladia Plays, and today, guys, I'm bringing you another video, and we're going to be discussing about Rocksteady's next project. So I'll hand it over to ING Gamer, which I'm doing a collaboration video with right now. So hand it over to him.
Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're going to be talking about the potential Superman game from Rocksteady, and so first we'll be talking about some of the tweets that we have seen from Rocksteady and some of the employees there that seem to indicate that there will be a Superman game coming up at some point. After that, we'll talk about where we could potentially see an announcement for it, which is probably sooner than you guys would think. And at the end, we'll kind of talk about how we each think a Superman game would work. So, uh, do you want to talk about the tweets really quick?
Yep. So with the tweets, Gaz Deeves, who is the marketing game manager for Rocksteady, tweeted out on the 28th of September, "Be patient, fans. I know we're not talking right now, but when we do, people are going to lose their minds. Can't wait," with a smiley face emoji. That was on Twitter on the 28th. And then I believe it
Yep.
was on the 4th that they posted concept art from Arkham City throughout their games.
Yep, and they've been just posting like every 2 days since then, um, just with more concept art from the Arkham series, and that has been really interesting. And you earlier were talking to me about the Reddit post that someone was talking about links and ties potentially to a Superman game. So do you want to just talk
Yeah,
about those briefly as well?
yeah. So a Reddit post posted by Virgil Hawkins 17, which I'll leave a link in the description, guys, where you can check it out yourself. He talks about how everything links up to the Superman game from each tweet. So like something like a stag airship being in one of the Metropolis posters. And also on top of that, he also talks about the early concept art from what we saw from Working with the Mouth with his Reddit post, and I'll leave a link to that as well in the description. Where he talks about Superman, Brainiac, and Doomsday that leaked in 2015, and alongside that, um, as well, he also discussed that they are very well that he's that Rockstar are very well for hiding and hinting at different things, and that they did say that, oh, we got something to show, and they have been very active over Twitter recently. So and I know that a lot of people are saying, "Where's the Batman game?" But Batman game. Well, I'll make a video on the Batman game in the next video, which I'll do on my own. But this is mainly about Superman. But I think in terms of the Superman game itself, I think it's going to be Superman. Even this guy Virgil Hawkins 17 actually thinks it is as well, because he added up the Shadow of War and from Monolith Studios and Rocksteady, comparing them at the same time. Um, a lot of people think it's Justice League, but my thoughts is it's going to be Superman. But what do you think, RNG Gamer? Give your thoughts on this stuff.
Yeah, so first of all, what I want to say about the Twitter is absolutely, I think 100% it is leading to something. I don't think that they start getting really active on Twitter again just for no reason, especially on games that really, I mean, we're talking 2, 3 years. Is Arkham Knight 3 years now? About 2.5 now?
Arkham Knight
Uh,
came out in 2015.
yeah, so yeah, like I don't see why games that are like 2.5 years old and older they'd just be talking about for no reason. So I think that's kind of the first point I want to make is, and also that Gaz is saying that the next thing they're going to show us is going to blow our minds. He wouldn't say that if the project is still like 2 years out. It's relatively soon, I believe. So the next thing I wanted to say about the Batman game is, first of all, do we really want to see another Batman game from Rocksteady? Just because, and hear me out here, Arkham Knight was arguably the weakest of their trilogy, and I personally felt like it really was. And it really felt like they were getting a little bit tired of doing Batman. So I think to kind of have a change of pace and have them do like Superman, for example, would be really good for them. And WB Games Montreal, I do think is working on a Batman game as well that we might see in a year or two. But I think that we're going to see Rocksteady Superman sooner, which is really interesting because I didn't think that would ever happen. Um,
At
you
all.
know, but yeah. So the last thing I want to say about the Justice League game is I think it's a great idea, honestly. I would love to see a video game where all these characters are uniting in a big AAA, just action-packed experience. That would be so cool. But we've only had Batman standalone games. Okay, and that would be such a massive game to develop because you have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. How many more could I name?
Green
Um,
Arrow, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman.
yeah,
So those are
I
the
can't believe I forgot Flash. Yeah, but it's yes. So it would just be a massive game to develop. You have Central City, you have Gotham, you have Metropolis, you have Star City, you have all these huge cities. Whereas, so imagine if they worked on for maybe a few years on working on some individual characters. So we get a Superman game, maybe a Flash game down the road at some point, and then eventually. Not like even on the Xbox One or maybe even the one after that, but like eventually on like a huge system that could handle a game like of this proportion, you combine all those open world cities and all those characters into one massive game. That is how I think a Justice League game would pay off. Because if they were to
Mhm.
just do a Justice League game right now, I don't think it would really pay off. So that's kind of my thoughts on that.
And my thoughts on the Justice League game is just the fact that if it was gonna happen, that it would be more of a type of DC Universe Online, like, but besides the online stuff, it'll just be like that, and that would take a long time, just rebuild that, reshape everything, and to make it more modern, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, basically it's do you want a rushed Justice League game or a very, very good Justice League game that you'd have to wait for a little bit? That's kind of the two
Yeah, which,
options.
yeah, that's why I really think that I think they should hold back on the Justice League game and focus on one individual character at a time, and then push,
Definitely.
and then get that game out. Really, to be honest with you, um,
Yeah.
but with the concept art as well from 2015 and everything, that kind of put me towards the Superman game in the first place back in 2016, where I um, spoke to different YouTubers and I asked them, hey, do you know this, that, and the other, and he was like, I'm not too sure. I think the Batman game would come out first, and he was wrong, and I was well,
I thought Batman would come out first. Honestly, I thought
yeah,
WB Games Montreal would have a Batman game out by now. So it's surprising that Superman from Rocksteady is actually coming first.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, if you guys really want to get a you know single player game from Rocksteady, then expect something big like Superman or Flash.
Yep. All right. So next, let's talk about kind of where we could potentially see this Superman game get announced. And so I'll kind of start that off. So first, we have uh, we have Paris Games Week coming up. Then we have VGAs. We also have PSX. We have a lot of big events where we could really see an announcement. And the way that they've been becoming active on their Twitter page, I think it's most likely going to show up there. But even if it doesn't, I'd say E3 2018 is the very latest that it will get announced. At least in my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but just from the way it's been built up, I feel like we're going to be seeing it very soon.
hmm And my opinion is the fact that the announcement coming from Rocksteady, um, my first guess would be VGAs. Second probably guess would be PSX. Then third would be Paris Game Week as an
Yeah,
announcement.
and
Why?
and I guess the other thing that they could do is the game cover from
If-
Game Informer,
Yeah, and that would be my
which they've done in
fourth.
the past.
Yeah, which
But
they did with Batman Arkham Knight, if you can remember. Batman
uh,
Arkham Knight, they did that, I believe, in 2014 in March. I'm not too sure.
yeah, I think
Um,
that's right. Yeah.
and then the announcement was a couple of months later. But I think in terms of demo and everything, probably E3, and they'll probably deliver it in time, around about New York Comic Con.
Yep. Yeah. So basically, and one just kind of disclaimer I want to add to this is we are not 100% certain of any of this. This is all theory and speculation.
Yeah.
And so, like, even though we are very convinced, I guess, that there's a very good chance we'll be seeing this very soon, don't, like, still kind of take it with a grain of salt and realize that we could be completely wrong. as well. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, keep that in mind,
Just
guys.
thought I should add that.
Yeah, keep that in mind, guys. That we don't know anything that's going on with Rocksteady at the moment. I mean, if we did, hell, we would be mind blowing. Trust me.
Yeah.
We'd be over the moon if it was, announced.
I would not be making this video.
We
Like,
wouldn't
I'll tell you that much. Like,
we wouldn't be making a video about this. There'll be a trailer.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, guys. That I think that Rocksteady will either announce it in one of the gaming events in the next couple of months, either next month or the VGAs. I think personally.
Yeah.
And then after that, E3 will be the demo, and then potentially, at the end of next year, or better yet, in August or September, we would get the game, as it would be fitting, considering that Rocksteady did that with the first Batman Arkham game, which they did, and they announced it. I believe, a year before, and they got the game out in August of 2009. And I think it'd be really fitting for that. So
Yeah.
that's what I think.
All right.
But what do you think about the DLC and stuff like that? I mean, we could talk about that if you
Like for
want.
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I hope that we don't get something nearly as bad as Arkham Knight's DLC. That was horrible. I think that we could definitely see like maybe an expansion to Metropolis. We could maybe get a different weather system, like maybe instead of summer themed, we could get like a Christmas themed Metropolis or something like that. I'd personally want an expansion to the story, basically.
What about outer space? Would you like that?
Depending on how they did it, I could definitely see. I don't know. I feel like they could definitely do a really good outer space DLC, but it would really have to just hit it home and be really good. Like if they did Mongol and Warworld, kind of some of those story arcs, I think that could really definitely work. But
yeah, so I really think that a DLC from Superman would actually be working around different characters like Zod. What's the other one name? Yeah, General Zod. I would think. I would probably even think either Mongol or Darkseid or Kalibak, something like that caliber. I would actually think would be in the game as a DLC.
So I'm kind of going to use this also to kind of diverge into the final point, which is like, how do you think that this Superman game could work? You can talk about like story, gameplay, anything like that. Just because I know that there's a lot of people saying, oh, you can't do a Superman game because then he's depowered. But here's my point about that, first of all, is Arkham Asylum, Batman was depowered. No one cared. Everyone was just so excited by the aspect of the game and the way that the game was done.
Yeah.
Like, and so yeah, if you want to kind of talk about that, and then I'll give my thoughts on that as well.
So, in terms of a Superman game, story-wise, I think they would use something out of the comic. So, something like Earth 1. So, if they use, like, what Earth 1 story did, took a bit of that, took a bit of another comic like a New 52 or Rebirth comic, and put that together, that'd be perfect. But in terms of Superman character power and stuff like that, I would think they would use the level of the animated series, like I said in my like I did with the collab video that we did before. Superman being down to the animated series, where he wasn't all powerful, he wasn't all great. He's still able to fly. You're still able to face off against Parasite, Darkseid, Kalibak, Steppenwolf, all these big characters, but you could still get defeated by them easily, could get knocked down by them. And that is something you should take into consideration, guys, that, some of the characters in the animated series were able to defeat Superman. And that is to take on board. So I think Rocksteady would, like they did with the Batman Arkham franchise, they use the voice actors and they use some of the stuff from the animated series and put it into their own story. And I think that would be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as well, on top of that, gameplay-wise, I think they would use something along the lines of what Batman Arkham Knight was. Because they did have Arkham Knight's glide, I would say. That was pretty cool in terms of that. But I know they did lack a little bit on the flight and stuff. Sorry, glide.
Yeah.
But destruction, building destructions. I mean, that was to do with um, that was to do with you know, obviously the Batmobile. But I can actually think they would do something like that.
Yeah, Superman would be able to like
Break that.
not necessarily go through like buildings and stuff, but like he could cause damage to buildings and things
Yeah.
like that.
So more along the lines of more better what Superman Returns did, more advanced from that, and possibly even Factor 5 Superman, which they almost, they almost pulled it off. I'm not gonna lie there.
Yeah.
I mean the combat and stuff would be based around that. I think. I mean,
Mhm.
would you agree on that?
Yeah, I think that what we'll be seeing is not necessarily a depowered Superman, but more of just a Superman who like and this is kind of something if you read some of the comics, he's not and watch like the animated series like you said for example, he's not as powerful as all of the movies make him out to be all the time. There are interpretations of the character where he can't even fly, he can just jump really far.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to like depower him that much or anything, but what I'm saying is that I feel like we've gotten so used to this idea that Superman is completely invincible and nothing can hurt him, which really is I don't feel is the intention of the character.
Yeah. So I believe, but I believe it's gonna be something along the lines of the animated series because it's something Rocksteady would do. I don't think they would use, um, somebody else like Nolan North to do voice work. Would you?
I could see them doing it. I don't know. It's kind of still too early to tell exactly what they do because we haven't seen anything for the game yet. Um, I don't know. I'm really kind of open to anything they decide to do, as long as it's just really good for the game and really works out.
Yeah. And in terms of voice work, I would think Clancy Brown would be in the game. I think.
Yeah, I'm honestly like, if they decided to get someone who's never done voice work before, I'd be absolutely fine with that.
Hmm.
I just want someone who can pull off a good Superman voice, who can really just have that sense of uh, justice and just that sense, like not because Kevin Conroy is so iconic for Batman,
Hmm.
but I don't want Superman to just be like written exactly like Batman was written. He has to be a lot,
Unique.
I think, yeah, a lot brighter. He's
Yeah.
not like just this gloomy, dark character.
So someone like George Newbern who did Injustice 2, he of his caliber would actually fit for the Superman voice acting work. I would think. I
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
I mean, Injustice 2 just came out the beginning of this year, and some people might say, but um,
Yeah, I'm open to it.
why can't you have Tim Daly? Why can't you have Nolan North? Why can't you have um Adam Baldwin or someone like that? And I'm like, no, because George Newbern would be perfect in that type of thing. Tim Daly would be my second choice, obviously, and then third,
Yeah,
obviously, would be Nolan North. But I don't think Nolan North would be the right one. Um,
I don't know. Yeah, it's like I could see them maybe having a little bit more access to him just because he did some thug voices and Penguin in the Arkham series, so I could see him like being able to do it. But I don't. Yeah, like you said, I don't know if he'd be the first choice for everyone.
no, I don't think so either. I mean, Clancy Brown will be an obvious choice for Superman villain.
Yeah.
In terms of Lex Luthor, that's an obvious choice because
Uh huh.
that's what they did with the Joker. They used Mark Hamill as his legendary voice. But
Yeah.
and he did the three Arkham games, and I would think that that would to do the same thing with Superman. They would use legendary voice actors to do the same thing.
Yep.
Um, I don't think they'll even probably bring back Michael Ironside as well, which would
Uh
be
huh.
awesome for him to do voice work for Darkseid. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but honestly, other than that, I really think that a Superman game is in development at Rocksteady,
I
and
agree.
that release date maybe September October time would get the release, and and everything else alongside that you guys should keep a lookout on their Twitter page, Facebook page, because I know those are the most two active places that they would Rocksteady would be tweeting or posting on, and just keep a lookout. That's what we would say. Keep a lookout on
Yeah,
Twitter, and you never
yeah. So
know.
just yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that we'll definitely be seeing more stuff preceding the announcement. But just kind of to wrap this up, first of all, expect kind of us to probably talk about this a little bit more. We're going to get Sergeant Skydiver as soon as he's back to do another podcast with us, and we'll probably discuss this a little bit more, especially if new information comes out. Um, for me personally, I think that this would be really exciting because I think it would be done very similar to Arkham, not like gameplay wise necessarily, but I think as far as just an iconic story, an iconic gameplay, and villains like, yeah, I don't know who we'd see, like Lex Luthor, maybe Metallo, um, you know,
Lex Luthor, Metallo,
yeah, Darkseid,
Darkseid,
potentially,
Steppenwolf, Parasite,
yeah.
Livewire, Calabac.
And that's the thing is I know that a lot of people are like, but thugs could never hurt Superman. It's like, yeah, but you get Lex Luthor to develop, bullets that have
Alien
traces of kryptonite
weapons.
in them, or
Alien
like you could
weapons.
even have him develop some kind of machine that, yeah, like you
No,
could work in depowering Superman into the plot. Like that's
no,
the thing. It's like,
no, I would actually think it's more along the lines of them using alien weapons, like
yeah,
something like let me see. Oh, that's right. Spider-Man: Homecoming, like what they did with the versing Spider-Man. They used the alien technology, so something along those lines they would use for Superman.
yeah, yeah. And I
So
know that there's also people who are all like, well, but it's unrealistic that he couldn't like leave Metropolis and fly around the world. Okay, here's how you solve that. Lois Lane is hostage, and Lex Luthor says if Superman leaves Metropolis, he'll kill her. There you go. Like problem solved. That's it.
nah,
like
but to be really honest though, if they're gonna really expand on the DC games itself, with Superman himself, I think they would use it in a space. So something round about above Metropolis, but
yeah,
you be able to go into space, but you'd be able to see just Metropolis, and that was it.
yeah. I don't know. It could be potentially cool, I guess, if like you could see Gotham off in the distance as well. I don't
Yeah.
know, like because I do personally think it will be linked to the Arkham games just because of how it seems this game was developed. I
So it'll be like something
I
like the
guess
Arkhamverse, essentially, its own Arkhamverse.
yeah. Except here's the thing though is I don't want them like constantly referencing Batman either. It's like I think that the way that they could do it is you don't really like for example think about Arkham Knight.
Hmm.
There weren't any like blatant references to like Doomsday or anything like that, but you heard thugs occasionally say something like, "Oh yeah, like if that freak from Metropolis flew in here." So you have the game be completely standalone with just Superman, and then occasionally you hear a thug or a police officer or someone say like, "Have you heard what happened at Arkham the other night?" or something. Like you just have little references that you can overhear that like link it, if that makes sense.
Yep, I agree. It's like if they reference it to the um if they reference it from the Batman Arkham games, I think it'd be more than awesome. I
Yep.
think. I mean, but
Yep.
that's what I really think that it's gonna be come to that point where they'll reference Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and just a little bit of that, and it should be fine, as long
Yeah.
as they don't exceed it. If you
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I know what you mean. All right.
Yeah,
So is that everything we have to talk about?
yeah, that's pretty much what we have to talk about here today, guys.
All right.
And pretty
Yeah,
much,
sorry we kind of went off on a tangent,
yeah,
but as you guys can tell, we're like really excited to talk about
yeah, we were,
this.
yeah, we were very excited to talk
So,
about. We're very excited to talk about this, Rocksteady's next project. So we thought we'd do a collab video anyway. But yeah, tune in, in maybe a couple of weeks of, I'll be doing a Batman solo video that is Batman talking about Batman game coming from WB Montreal, what my thoughts would be coming from them. And we were doing another podcast, like Iron G Gamer said, with Sergeant Skydiver, soon. We don't know when though. It could be because of work and everything. So expect that coming out soon. But in the meantime, guys, make sure you check out our Twitter, which will be linked in the description. Also, you can follow ING Gamers channel. Make sure you go check him out on YouTube. Give him a sub because he deserves it. And also, guys, if you want to follow me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/TuladiaPlays, that link will be in the description as well, guys. So until next time, I hope you have a great day. Take care and peace.